Hello. So, I slept in after my little nap because today I did a lot of work and I'm very proud of myself, but also I got really tired after doing it. Here we are, an hour late. I do apologize. I do apologize for being late. I woke up and had to have dinner really fast, and so that's what we're doing right now. Hey, Ball Knight, how's it going? Honey, I hope that you have a great night, and I'll see you Friday night, and thanks for letting me lurk for a bit. No worries, so sorry I started late, Drago. You take it easy, alright? Oh, it's my 18th month sub anniversary. Oh, that's a long time. That's a long time, oh my gosh. And that's a lot, jeez. Myth, thank you for the posture, breathe, hydrate, and Jasper, thank you for the save, and Drago, thank you for the ear wiggles. Little. Imagine being tired. Could you imagine? It happens. Oh, stop apologizing for taking care of yourself and your needs. Thank you. I'm waffling on adding flats to my experiment, even though I really doesn't need color. But really, flats? Like flat colors? I'm wondering what your experiment is. Pretty art. Thank you. What's for dinner? Fried beets, sausage, pierogies, applesauce, with sour cream, and sauerkraut. I got some good food today. Woke up at like 6:06 and was like, oh, I have to eat. But yeah, today I got the Christmas tree up. It's a little Charlie Brown. It's like a Charlie Brownish looking Christmas tree, but hey, it's a little festive for the season. A little something. Sent out a bunch of emails today, so yippee! I am almost done fully making all the emails I need to do. So, yippee! Ocean, thank you for the resub. Happy 13 months. Welcome back. Jasper, thank you for the 100 shinies. Don't you dare apologize for being late due to getting rest. Rest is important, and you should never apologize for doing the healthy thing. Don't maybe go over there and tuck you in bed and give you 4 kisses before reading you bedtime stories so you sleep good or... Oh! That would be lovely. That sounds nice. Honey eating a German-style dinner and some Abby sauce? Mm-hmm. Crimson, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you very much. Hello, Edward. Are you sleepy too? I am quite awake because I had like the perfect 45-minute nap. Oh, except it jumped into stream time, so I was like, oh, I have to go. I gotta wake up. Me and my family got our Christmas tree today as well. I'll talk about coincidence. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to have a little bit of something up for the rest of December because December is a dreary month. December really is a dreary month. So I have a lot of activities planned to get myself out of the house. I've taken a couple courses just for the season, and I'm going to learn some new skills. Just like how I learned Blender, I'm going to learn a new skill. Hopefully, I will get to learn soldering. Yippee! I'm very excited. I want to learn how to solder chips together because I feel like that would be a very, very good skill to learn. Especially in this hustle culture, always get rest. Yeah. I am very excited because I don't so many people applied for models this round. I was like, oh, I have to make like a PowerPoint presentation of each of them and what they want. Like I have to make folders and put it all in one sheet. But if you have applied for a model, be sure to check your email. There's a couple more emails I have to send out. Keep an eye on that in the next like 2 days. But yeah, if you apply for a model, do check it out. Keep an eye out for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. That's when I'll be sending out the rest of the emails. Got accepted for a new job. Nice. Wah. You laughter in Spanish. Bought my sister and her boyfriend Christmas gifts, and then my dad dropped them down the stairs because he can't keep his hands off other people's packages. I am so sorry. That sounds rough. Levi, thank you for the reset. Happy 10 months. Thank you very, very much. Nervous for a new job? Congratulations, Jaku, on getting your new job. That is a very big achievement. Celebrate, enjoy it. I hope they treat you well, and I hope it's not too stressful. But yeah, even if you're nervous, big thing to keep in mind with a new job, the first day is the day where you can ask as many stupid questions as you want because it's worse to ask them later rather than earlier. Because there's nothing wrong with going, hey, just double checking. I just don't want to get it wrong. This, you know? There's nothing wrong with doing that. Gecko, yay, work! I love making models! I love making models. All the interest is a testament to the quality of your work. I am very flattered with people who were like, yes, I would like you to make a model. I'm like, oh, you trust me with your OC. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for the trust. Hey Zimmer, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Stress is my middle name. That's why they call me Sir Smokes a lot. That's bad. That's bad. Gecko, there's only really stupid questions. There's never a stupid question. There's only really stupid questions. Yes. A really stupid question is something that is unrelated to what you need to know or what you're talking about. Like if you're about to work a desk job, you don't need to ask like, do I need to know wiring for this? And it's like, no, you don't. That's not that stupid of a question, but that's an out there question, you know? Stephanie, and you'd be good at soldering with how much you love art. It'll come naturally, I'd assume. I would think so. The main reason I want to learn soldering or soldering, I don't know how to pronounce it, is I want to learn how to make my own IMU trackers. Because a lot of what I'm learning is a lot of stuff is DIY when it comes to the 3D community, and the more I understand, the better I will be equipped to make something more polished. You know, the I is silent in soldering. Soldering? Soldering? You gotta write the second time. Soldering. Oh, soldering. Okay, so it is soldering. There's no L. Oh, the L is silent. I forgot there's no cap eyes. You gotta write the second time. You're saying soldering correctly. It's not pronounced like it's spelled. What is it, a French word? Soldering. No. Soldering. No, that's the Spanish accent. I don't think you would say that. ING isn't usually in French words, if I'm not mistaken. Also, nice commission work. Thank you. This is not commission work. This is actually work for myself. Since I was practicing the low poly skeleton last stream, I figured why not treat myself and do a little low poly designing for myself, because my goal is to make a low poly me model. So it's because of how my free time works. A lot of the time I have to work on my own projects, such as personal models, has been eaten away by either outside responsibilities, seeing my nephew, prepping for the holiday season with family, or just prepping commission work. So in order to get what I want to learn to stick and practice it, stream is probably going to be that time and place. So I figured, why not start with this? I have not finished the skeleton because I have to look at how to rig faces, and so that will take a little more study. So instead of watching tutorial videos during stream today, I thought, why don't I try to do a low poly me? It could be fun. Using your leisure time well, honey. Thank you. I'm definitely using it in a way that is productive, I guess, if that makes sense. But I'm hoping that it's not going to make me really tired. That's kind of the goal. Which word? Soldering or soldering, Gecko. Soldering, copper attracts the previous solder, something that I learned watching tutorials how to solder potentiometers on electric basses and guitars to mod them. I guess it never occurred to me that you would have to solder those. I want to learn. I want to learn. I think that is something that has really made my mental health very nice, is A, going out to a rec center and doing like yoga and exercise with aunties, and B, learning new skills. Now, the unfortunate thing about being an adult is you're not in school anymore. So there aren't a whole lot of free classes that you can attend to. So that's why I do my best to save up and use my fun money instead of going out to get dinner or spending it on something that I probably won't use very often. I sometimes use it for going out to restaurants because, you know, it's nice to get food that you don't make. But signing up for a class and learning a skill has reactivated my brain in a way that I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how fun it is to do things yourself and learn. So I'm really enjoying it. I want to learn to solder, to mess around with gaming handhelds. I want to learn how to make IMU trackers. I think it's IMU trackers. So like Slime is a type of tracker where they give you the blueprint and tell you what to order, and you can just make it yourself for really, really cheap. So I want to try to do that. I have no idea how well they'll work, but it is something that I want to try in early 2026, ideally once the butterfly prototypes are solidified, and they release the blueprints. There's also going back to college. Yeah, so the big thing with going back to college is it can be very expensive, unless you go to a community college, in which case it might not be as expensive. But the things I want to learn, I don't think require a long course. These are more things that I want to learn in a wood shop, These are skills that I just want to learn. I want to learn how to use these tools, how to apply them, just so I can be more hands-on and understand how things are made. Because that is a good way of becoming more knowledgeable, And understanding what I'm doing feels really good. Finally getting to join you now. Are we talking about adulting? We're talking about learning as an adult. Yeah. Joshua, I want to learn to children mess around with gaming handhelds. I've never heard that word before. Yeah, it's when you kind of melt things together, like voice chips. Or not voice chips, little chips. Sinfrols, thank you for the sub. Welcome on into the tavern. I hope you're doing well. Also got to do the redeems. I forgot. Thank you for the breathe and hydrate. Let's do that. And Jasper, thank you for the save. I'll do that right now. Honestly, the music that we're listening to is like the Christmas music, and it fits this vibe a lot. Should I ham trackers? I'm becoming honey goblin? Don't think I'm ready. I'm already short enough. It's good to be independent like that. I'm gearing up to learn to retool my art style. Ooh, that ought to be fun. It can be challenging, but very rewarding. Gaming Illustrator. I was trying to entertain a kid at my work to doing some character impressions like Mario, Marvin the Martian, Luigi, Stitch, Elmo, and he said something that caught me off guard. Why do you work at a skate park when you could be a voice actor? And it threw me off because I'm used to my coworkers saying that, but it's a mental flashbang to hear kids say that. You may just have a skill for it. You may be able to stretch and manipulate your voice with such good accuracy that it's really impressive. Very kind of them to say that. Miss working in a group environment too, like school. School is really good for that. So the nice thing about a lot of adult classes when you sign up is, although they can cost money, and that is something to consider whether there is within your budget, it does put you into a class environment, even if temporarily. There is something very nice about learning a skill from someone else. And granted, the teacher can make or break the course. And so if you get a really good teacher who's really interested in what they are learning and not just teaching you for the sake of teaching you, then you are more likely to come out with a really good set of skills and a good experience. Balrog chart, thank you for the resub with Prime. Happy 6 months. Good evening. You're pretty cool. Thank you. Do not under any circumstances sold a potato or tortilla chips. This has been a PSA. I guess that is something to be worried about. Yeah, okay. I'll do my best to not. Hey, Frogs Forever, how's it going? It's good to see you. How you been? Flying Frog, I'm currently coming from a band concert. I play clarinet. Nice. The clarinet's a fun instrument. I don't have the lung or the cheek strength to play it. Low poly sounds like it'd be a slur in the cyberpunk world. Really? Honestly, how funny would it be if someone with a bunch of polygons was like, "You're a low poly character," and it's like, at least I run good. At least I am optimized. Am I just sleepy or are you streaming later than normal? I am streaming later than normal. I took a nap before streaming today. Unfortunately, the nap bled into my stream time. And so right now, we're streaming a little later than usual. So let me just take a little bite of my dinner because I do have some of my dinner to eat. Hey, Jeff. Hey, fellow nap enjoyers. How are you today? Sauerkraut. His is really good and charming. There's so many neat pictures and outfits of Avatar. Thank you. Thank you very much. Taking a lot of practice and a lot of trying new things, but I'm pretty happy with this lineless style. It's good. Gaming Illustrator. My main problem is it's virtually impossible to audition for voice actor stuff these days. Now let's just be friends with someone making indie animation needs voice actors. It can be tough. Something that might be good is either way, making a demo reel, of your own work. That way you can just practice voicing things. As well as if someone is looking and comes across your work, that's great. That's an opportunity. Just thank you for the posture check and hydrate. Simmer. Don't know how long I'll be in chat because I was about to go to bed, but I'm gonna stay a bit. No worries. Come and go as you please. There is nothing wrong with coming in, even lurking, and then heading out when you feel like it. I enjoy the company. Excuse me. And the routine. It helps me to make my weeks feel a little bit more like they have structure. And that's nice. Because otherwise, sometimes I get lost in the art sauce. Get up here, beat. Jeff, cracking into any industry cold is going to be difficult. Yep. Absolutely. It is really difficult. And honestly, I don't have very much advice for voice actors. Mostly because I am not one. I am not a voice actor. I have had a couple people come up to me and offer me voice acting work. However, because I'm not experienced and I didn't know them very well, I was like, thank you, I do appreciate it, but I don't feel comfortable doing that right now. But one of the things that does help for visibility is just putting yourself out there. So streaming, making little videos, making a demo reel, posting it. Doesn't even have to be big things. Voicing little short clips. A lot of stuff. A lot of it comes down to audio and like knowing audio a bit. But I think just posting stuff is important. Because a lot of the people, and even I fell into this little trap sometimes where I went, oh man, this person got this opportunity. Why didn't I? And then my brain would immediately go, silly, because you didn't post anything. You've been quiet on social media. People don't know you exist. And it's like, yeah, that's fair, actually. That makes sense. The reason people get more opportunities is because they put themselves out there. They make themselves visible as they can. And there's varying degrees of success with this. Some people get a lot of opportunities. Some people don't, but continue to post anyways. And I think that's kind of what it boils down to is like consistently posting helps. Granted, with the algorithms on depending on what site you're on, your mileage may vary. But putting yourself out there is better than not. Because you're not going to get any opportunities if no one knows you exist. Jeff, if you're Gianni Matragrano, you'll get hired because of your shit posts. Some people do get hired for that. A lot of VTubers just make really funny shit posts. And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that because, yeah, sometimes they're funny. But some people just do that. And that's okay. Sometimes that's what goes viral and that's what they get attention for. And then they then get seen by more people. He's a professional shit poster. I don't have so this is something that is very important with artists. You have to be strategic about what you post as well as what trends you jump on, because constantly trying to keep up with the latest trends will potentially burn you out unless you are extremely fast at drawing or very lucky. I thought about trying to do an art trend. Every time I see an art trend, I'm like, ooh, this could be fun. But then I think about how much work it is, and I'm like, no, I will probably burn out if I try to chase this wave. Let's be okay. Let's be okay with what I can do. Not everyone can be the high performance online personalities, and that's okay. I am a lot more low energy. I am a lot more, I guess, conservative with my art. Nah, that's not the right word for it. That makes me sound like I only do prudish art. But I try not to worry about posting constantly. If you look at my art and my sites, I actually haven't posted in a very long time. Granted, part of this is because of AI and everything around and scraping, but also just social media can be very exhausting. It can be very tiring. Even just having two sites. I have mainly two that I post my going lives to, and it's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, but can be very overwhelming very quickly. Hey, Fatal Sniper. Jeff, whatever works to get people to remember your work. Yep. The thing to do that is really important is to not treat posting like a job, but post things that you enjoy. Not what anyone else will enjoy, but what you will enjoy. That will help you long term to find people who like what you like, and also to not feel like you're constantly chasing trends and then seeing no results. Gaming Illustrator. I'm still proud of my vocal range. I can go from Elmo to Cobra Bubbles and Lilo and Stitch, to Joker to Kermit to Creepy Monster pretty easily, though I always end up needing to burp with my monster voice. That happens. Sometimes when you go really low, you might need to yawn. That's what I have. Jeff, and then whenever they have to think about hiring anyone, they'll say, I wonder if they're available for paid work. Yep. If you make your stuff memorable and post, someone will keep you in the back of their minds. Another thing that does help, genuinely, is, now this is a little business honey brain 101. If you are trying to get seen online, make your accounts across platforms consistent. What I mean is, make sure your profile pictures look like you or your avatar, as well as search optimization. Make sure your username is consistent wherever you go, or as consistent as possible. For example, if you look up honey_goblin, it brings you to me, because I have very intentionally chosen my name so that it represents what I am and is easy to remember. There are some limitations. For example, Blue Sky doesn't have underscores, so I have a dash instead. Closest you can get, you know? Same thing with YouTube, Twitch, my website, so on and so forth. Jaked Potato. Social media burns you out so fast if you're not careful. Also, hi. Absolutely it does. You are absolutely right. Simmer, thank you, honey. This is kind of stuff I need to hear sooner. Social media can easily make one adopt learned helplessness quickly. Takes away from the love of creating in the moment. Yep. There's a Japanese comic artist known as Peach Momoko whose artwork is truly magical, dreamlike, and otherworldly. Some of the most beautiful and best I've ever seen. Peach Momoko sounds really familiar. There's a lot of names of artists that I remember, but I wouldn't recognize them unless I saw their art. Sorry, I'm just gonna eat some of my dinner. Peach Momoko stuff is gorgeous. Let me look it up. Sounds familiar. Peach Momoko. Okay, yes. I do know Peach Momoko's art. Someone has mentioned it before. Peach Momoko has done a couple Marvel not posters, covers. That's what I know them from. Very good stuff. Very pretty. Man, their art's so cool. Whiskey Crab, happy anniversary to ya. 1 year. It's been 1 year. Low poly honey looks like it'd be a game sprite. Thank you. This does look like a game sprite. This, on the other hand, is going to be the low poly model. I am very much referencing I think it's pre-choose style, which is you may recognize from Hololive's low poly models. I think they're really adorable. They look very cute and appealing. I would not mind doing like a model like this. I think it could be fun. What I'll probably do as well is, this is an old art piece that I did on stream. Y'all might have seen it, but I want to kind of do an outfit like this. I feel like this is a good outfit to do that will challenge me, but also be interesting and simple enough for me to do. So let's try it. Man, I miss playing the violin. Violin was fun. Good night, Lucky Sea Dragon. Sometimes I feel like posting everything into the online would gather too wide of an audience, but I'm guessing it also makes your profile more dynamic. I think posting whatever you want online would probably be the best way to go about it. Something that you would like to see. something you like to see and put in your feed. And I think that's okay. It can definitely be a wide range, but unless you are trying to really specifically craft a brand identity for yourself, I wouldn't worry too much about that. In fact, sometimes posting the diversity can show that you are very flexible as an artist or a creator. You used to play the violin? Yeah, I used to play the recorder, violin. I can kind of play the uke right now. Not great at it. I can only play a couple songs. It's been a while since I practiced. I think I played one more instrument. No, I think that was it. Just violin, recorder. Yeah. Violin was fun. Violin was very fun. Oh, a little stretch again. Almost got 1,000 followers on DeviantArt, but about 50 on Twitter. I was posting mostly on DeviantArt, was happy with the numbers there, but Twitter declined mental health. Twitter, am I right? Twitter is a really tough place. Maybe you could play violin for Little Neffy? Maybe, yeah. I think he might enjoy that. He might like that the ukulele is like his size. Very strong feeling. I need Steven Universe phrase, hence the UK. Yep, absolutely. Still love Steven Universe. Very good show. The ukulele in your closet still calls. It calls out to me. I can play a couple songs on it. Not very complex songs, and I do mess up a lot, but that's okay. It's part of the learning. I just play the piano, but not sure if the skill's there anymore. Odds are, the fundamentals might be there. So that's cool. But, yeah. I probably wouldn't be able to play the violin immediately once I got it. I'd probably have to practice a bunch. Every skill can get rusty. But, if you learned it once, you can learn it again. Hello, Pluckbear. Lindsay Sterling level of violin? No. I actually have a hard time multitasking. So, you know people who can pat their head and rub their belly? I can do that. But any complex stuff, I can only do one at a time. Like, I can talk, I can sing while I draw. I can do those sort of things. But dancing while playing violin? Nah. No. I always say this. Steven Universe is about rocks realizing they have depression. Steven Universe Future is about kid reeling rocks gave him depression. Yeah. Hello, Zooch. How's it going? How you doing? This is the base. Okay, good. There's nothing there. But welcome on in. I hope y'all are doing well. Oh, how you doing, Zooch? Zooch, check it out. I'm making a low poly me. It'll be fun. We're taking it easy and doing this in a very simple way so that me, a beginner, will be able to do this and have fun. The one thing I will say about Christmas music, which we're listening to now, we're listening to the Lo-Fi Girls Christmas music, is it's pretty chill. I like it. But yeah, I've been working in Blender, Zooch. I'm working on a 3D model for myself. For funsies. For fun. Do you like chill? I enjoy chill quite a bit. Also, don't mind me while I eat my dinner and work at the same time. I'm multitasking now. Kimmy Hester, you a beginner? The person who gets paid? Dang. Guess maskers are less than beginning paid. Whatever phase you're in, it'll be different for everybody. Everyone starts at different places. You can technically take commissions when you have a very simple, scratchy style. Nothing wrong with that. Was eating and doing other stuff really count as multitasking? In my brain, it does. And he says they can't multitask and then multitask eating and drawing. Curious indeed. There's different levels for sure. All right, how am I gonna make this? Hmm. How do they do the chest here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so like 3. We're going real simple with the shapes. I like how simplified this style is. It's really nice. Thing I'm gonna have to learn is how to make it. I'm trying to draw it low poly so that my brain can make it low poly when I actually model it. I always feel bad saying I'm good at something, so I was basically raised that makes me bragging smart A, but my coworkers actually get annoyed when I don't say I'm good at something like art or impressions. I think you should be more proud of yourself when you think you're good at something. It's good to be good at stuff, you know? There's nothing wrong with being a beginner either. Do not downplay your skills. You don't have to be amazing at something to just say, yeah, I'm good at it. Also, people's have different opinions of what is good. Lopoliani, yeah. Question for Honey and Chat. You ever feel like you had been in the right area to start drawing? Otherwise, you can't get your draw. You have to be in the right area to start drawing. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you have to be in the right headspace or physical space to be ready to draw. And sometimes you just gotta persist even if you don't. So depending on if you have ADHD, sometimes it takes a little bit to get a task started. And so, thank you, Red Hunter, for the save. And the breathe. Sometimes it's a matter of getting in the right space, but sometimes you just kind of gotta rip the band-aid off and go. You gotta go, okay, my brain doesn't want to cooperate, let's try it. Give it 5 minutes trying. We'll try this art for 5 minutes, and if it doesn't work, then we can stop. It's okay. Let's see. Hands are probably going to be the most complex. That's fine. I'm going to keep them simple here. I started, I have no style, only discuss when I look at my art. So, Simple, the best thing to do when you're first starting out at art is treat yourself like a baby. You got to think about it. If you treat yourself like a baby, what would you say to someone who is just starting? Would you tell a baby, like, oh, your lines are awful, like, oh, this doesn't look good? No, because they're just starting. Babies don't have that critical eye, as well as the idea that something they do is bad. You have to treat yourself with such kindness and go, yeah, this isn't what I wanted, but I'm working on it, and this looks great. Starting is something. Really cool that even though someone isn't a very good artist, they can still come up with really dang good character designs through writing and text descriptions. Yeah, I guess so. If someone writes a description of their character design, you can verbally describe your character, kind of like how books would describe characters. And then that would be kind of a good way to start, is to make a list of like brown hair, brown eyes, green skin, big ears that point downwards, uh, stuff like that. That's a good way to make a list of what your characters would look like. Jeff, I had to tear apart my desk and buy a whole new monitor arm just to get my Cintiq in the right position. Now my monitor sits 4 inches higher than my head. Dang, that's high. There's a deep worry in me that if I can't work on art full time like I did on the night shifts, that means I'm not living my life to the fullest. If I could draw, I'd draw 8 to 12 hours a day. There are definitely limitations. I'm definitely in a fortunate position where I get to do art for long periods of time, so I get to practice more. But I don't think you should hold yourself and your art and the quality of it to the standard of those who have more time and resources to polish up their skills. Not everyone has the same 24 hours. That is a very, very untrue thing that a lot of people will say. They'll go, oh, we have the same 24 hours. I did it. It's just like, no, that is not true. People do not have the same 24 hours. If you have means and money, you can more often than not have more free time to do things than those who do not. This just doesn't look quite right. Let's turn off the head real quick. There we go. That's where it went. Time is money. Money can buy you time. Yep, absolutely. Good night, Gecko. Have a good sleep. It's great to see you. You have a vivid imagination without being able to put the right lines on paper. In fact, it's often a problem. Yep. Even as an artist such as myself, I still have that problem. In my brain, I know what I want this to look like. But in reality, I can't quite put it on paper. And that's okay. It takes a lot of practice. And you're not always going to get it right. We're just doing our best. A lot of people don't know how to describe their characters, though. It's actually a trouble for a lot of artists to get commissioned when the client isn't really clear with what they want. Yep, it can be really tricky. I will not disagree with you there. It can be a tough time. What can help is also looking up characters that already exist and writing out the features that you like about them. It can absolutely help you to describe your characters in a way that someone who is you are commissioning for the art can help. There we go. I don't want to worry about the boob line. The titties look too big. I do not have that big titties. I actually have smaller titties. I got small little titties. There we go. That looks a bit more like my proportions. There we go. Tids. I am not as endowed. The forbidden line, according to John Twitch. Give yourself mommy milkers! Nay, I shan't. I have the power, but I have the strength to do it. Nay. The smaller the booze, the closer we are to the heart. That's so funny. And it's lean, mean, green machine. Even these hips are a little too thick for me. This is like, so I have a runner's build. Like that's a little more close to the type of build that I have. Because the main sports that I would do are high intensity sprinting sports. So speed is a big factor in there. I am not this snatched. I am definitely not this snatched. I'm gonna fix this. I do like how thick the legs are though. They look cute. Maybe if I... Here's the problem though. It makes me look too tall. So the tricky thing with short stack proportions is you gotta really work it out so that it looks correct. Because my proportions are not that small of a waist, but not that thick of thighs. So I'm trying to even it out a little bit. Something like this, maybe? Maybe widen the waist? Maybe, yeah. Maybe widening the waist a little bit. This might work a little better. Maybe? Close. I realize Honey is the green sprint bee. You do cardio too, Honey? Yep. Honey, why do you dream so late at night? I'd watch more, but I have work tomorrow. Sorry about that. I usually stream in the evenings because that's just what I'm used to. During the day, I run and do my errands or whatever work I need to do. And the evenings, I usually do this to calm down and chill. It's become a nice routine, and I like it. I do morning streams on Saturdays, though. Definitely closer. Oh, little stretch. Low poly triangular tits. Runners build like sprinter or distance? Sprinter. I'm much more of a sprinter. I'm able to go 10 miles on my bike for 30 minutes. That's great! Congratulations! That is wonderful. That's a good achievement. But my all-time best hit shitpost is once again relevant. Meta, thank you for the earwiggles. All this talk of proportion sizes makes me more determined to find someone to snuggle with. Yeah, that could be fun. Snuggling's nice. Get to be cozy and warm. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely. Alright, I think that's pretty good for the base proportions. Let's go with the clothing now. Let's start with the clothing. So I want to do this kind of outfit. So it's fairly simple. It's just off-the-shoulder shirts, which can be a little tricky with 3D models, I've realized, but it's a good learning experience, I think. And then the off-the-side sort of skirt and pants and boots. Fairly simple. We're gonna keep it pretty relaxed for a low poly model. Whoa. Thank you for the hydrate and posture chick, Jasper. Oh, also, Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub to NC Zimmer. Thank you very much. Yes, part of Doom. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Tracking is scrungling a little bit when I stick out my tongue sometimes. But, If I turn my head too far, the tracking gets a little wonky, but that's okay. So where do you gauge the belly button goes? I know some people choose the dead center, others where the hips meet the torso just below that. What do you do? So for me, usually what I do for a belly button is in my mind, I plot out where the hips will be. So the rib cage is usually around here. That would be, well, that's not really the shape of the ribs. One sec. The rib cage shape would be like this. Something like this, if I were to estimate it. Hip bones would probably be something like this, because you have the femur right around here. This is all estimates. Hip bones would be something along here. You would have that. And usually where I do it is right there. Somewhere close to the top of the hip bones. It varies from person to person, but it is not too difficult. Probably a little bit like there. Yeah, something like that. You can kind of get away with a little bit of wiggle room. Like a little bit of this or that. Collarbone! Yeah, that works. Question for Honey in chat. Is it worthwhile to upload the way the algo likes it? Say best time zones window, best days, or is it done and this hot potato is going out the window right now? So Lazy Vanguard, I think it's kind of whatever you can do. The algorithm, especially on Twitter, is constantly changing to the point where I barely even worry about Twitter. I do it for live posts and announcements. That's mostly it. I don't worry about whether it will get seen a lot or whether it's going to be a banger because there's too many rules and they keep changing and it's just too much to keep up with. For the most part, I like Blue Sky a lot more because it's mostly artists and I can filter out AI for the most part. Speaking of this life drawing is really fun, Taco Cake. Highly recommend it. It's great for learning to draw. I'm getting back to the post-homie depression. I'm back home. I was gonna work on a your character type thing and I'm working out on but kind of just feel down now. Aw. Yeah, take it easy. Do the best you can and chill. Did it for 3 semesters? Yep, I did it for art school. I think it was like 4. And I did some more during the summers in between semesters. It was nice. One sec. Nope. No sneeze. I felt a sneeze coming on, but I scared it away. I'm gonna eat more of my sausages. My sausage and pierogies. Oh, you like coming back to Taco Cake? I'm sneezing. Still find yourself doing much life drawing since you've been out of art school? Not so much. Art school really makes you focus and hunker down and do it. Less so when you're out of art school. And that's okay. I get to practice other things, but it really is important to make sure you don't lose the fundamentals. The more you practice anatomy, the better you'll get at it, you know? Alrighty, I think that's good for a base. Very simple. Let's do clothes. Let me remove this real quick so I can see better. Yeah, this art, by the way, was done by Prechu. And the models for Hololive too. I love Prechu's style for low poly. Very much taking inspiration from it. Kagimaro, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, raiders. How is your stream? Today, I'm working on a low poly model of myself. I'm trying to understand how low poly works and try to make one for myself. Wanting Goblin 64? Kind of, yeah. Welcome on in, raiders. How is Monster Hunter Wilds? How was your day? Hi, Kagi. Taco. Back and shoulders caused the shoulder girdle always had more data to refine, like in the rhomboid and major and minor. I barely even knew the names. I'm gonna be so for real. I learned the very basic names. But it sounds like you really study backs. Can you go a fantasy style outfit or a modern gamer outfit? I'm gonna go for this outfit. I wanted to do, since this will be my first low poly model for myself, I wanted to do something achievable. So it's not really too complex as far as I can tell, but it hits a lot of fundamental points where I get to worry about, okay, how will the arm stretch with the fabric if it's not on the shoulder? How will the hair move? How will the cloth move on the side here? There's a lot to think about and a lot to learn. So doing it in a very simplistic way, I think is a really good way to start for me. There was now... Sorry, there was now Monhan video today, but there's a good reason behind it. Oh, okay, gotcha. My dad meted out a brand new battery-operated snowplow. Felt that putting it right in front of an open flame propane heater was mostly plastic was a smart thing to do. It melted. Yeah, that makes sense. Remember, I love making comics. It's like making your own movies. You can make them cinematic, dramatic, along with a myriad of other things. Comics are really cool, and they take a lot of work. So I applaud those who can do it. I cannot. Have some ear wiggles. A little bit for you. There you are. Hand overlay is awesome. Thank you, Johnny. That's very kind of you. It's called V-Hand. It's a game on Steam. But yeah, we're gonna draw some clothing onto this because why did I create 2 layers of it? Ah, whatever, that's fine. But we are going to do 2 layers for that clothing, 1 for dress, and then we're going to rotate this. I'm gonna do a flat colors and then we're gonna rotate it. Not a game, it's an app. Oh, gotta look into that. It is actually a game on Steam. V-Hand. It's a game you can get. Simmer, thank you, honey. Take pride in comics I draw. People look at my portfolio at cons and they say I'm natural at layouts. Dang, that's good. Layouts are hard. Good for you. But yeah, welcome on in, Raiders. I hope you're doing well. My name is Honey, and today we're just drawing a low poly model of myself that I'm going to learn how to model. I am currently learning how to 3D model, and it has been very fun, actually. It's a little challenging for sure, but I enjoy myself. It's nice. I like challenging myself in new mediums, and it is definitely challenging myself. There we go. With Blender? Yep. Learning Blender. But I hope you're doing well, Kagimara. If you gotta go and head out and get some to eat, no worries. You are absolutely welcome to do that. Thank you for trusting me with your community. I am also going to eat while we're on stream because I have not fully eaten my sauerkraut and pierogies. What version? 3.6. Reason being, a lot of the add-ons that I'm using use 3.6 and not anything afterwards. So I'm like, okay, I'll just use that. Well, thanks for taking my love decision. No worries, thank you. Which is better, vanilla brownies or chocolate brownies? Ooh, chocolate. That's personal preference. One of my favorites, 3.6? Really? A blender? It's the one people recommend the most for making VR chat avatars, from what I've seen. Love the face movements of your model, so expressive and fluid. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's good to get your brain working like that. And if it makes you feel good or feels fun, all the better for it. Yeah. Wonder if the model will have big feet and or hands like some low poly games. Probably not. I'm kind of aiming for this style by Prechu. You can see Prechu's name here. Very beautiful low poly 3D models. And I want to kind of try to do something like this, you know? I want to learn. I was saying, given the diverse compatibility with Unity. Yes, the Unity is a big one. Let's see. Still figuring out how I'm going to do the sleeves, but I will learn. Especially if it's low poly, it's going to be a lot sharper than I am used to, because I'm used to very smooth edges. There are some smooth edges here, like the jaw. These are textures, I'm sure. But like most of this is sharp. And so that's going to be fun to do. That's why I'm looking at these sleeves and seeing how these sleeves are done. For the most part, they just seem sharp. So we're gonna keep that going there. Maybe I can, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll exaggerate the sleeves. Exaggerate it a little bit. Make it feel nice and weighty with its polygons. My polygons! My polygons! Like, because I can input Python via using a wrap, making the languages communicate smoothly. Oh, that sounds complicated. This might be an odd take, but I don't like how art is a competitive industry. I understand why it has to be that way, but I think my polarized brain interprets that as being devoid of compassion for our fellow artists. For me, we're on the same team. Nobody's getting left behind. I do genuinely think, Zimmer, that for the most part, artists are not competitive. Artists, a lot of the times, are trying to support each other and do their best to help each other. Especially just like look at the free run art, the free run looking up art. Artists are very much trying to help each other to get better. Art is one thing where it's one of the most human things in my opinion. Art and cooking. Art and cooking, creating things and wanting the world to be better are extremely human. You know something? Just yesterday I learned from another VTuber on when to use hard shadows and soft shadows. Ooh. That's a cool skill. I do not have that skill personally. But I hope it was useful. Because I am not good at knowing when to use hard shadows versus soft shadows. Shading is not my area of expertise. Yeah, raising it up I think is a little good. Is that for real, honey? I've thought this way for a long time. It's mostly about growing as an artist and helping others do the same. It was. I was using a soft brush my whole life doing digitally. Oh. Myth. I'm very competitive. I'm always competing with myself to be better than I was before. Oh, thank you for the resub with Prime, by the way. Happy 27 months. I find that... Also, good night, Elf. Get some sleep. I find that for the most part with artists, a lot of them are willing to share their brushes and their tools. And the ones that don't, which is me, I don't usually share them because I don't use any. I use the default brushes that come with Clip Studio. I feel like the skills that I have learned are not particularly worth putting into a tutorial because there are people who are way more skilled and way more eloquent who have already done that. I can point people towards those tutorials, absolutely. But making one myself doesn't really make sense to me because I worry that I would give people the wrong information. Jasper, thank you for the 100 shinies. I made a gourmet hot chocolate against this tis this season. Want I should share recipe in the Discord? Yes! Yes! Oh, that would be delightful. Alright, fine, honey. Keep your secrets from us. Keep your secrets! The default brush! I used the default brush! That's the secret, Captain! I'm using default tools! One for food and one for actual cooking and baking. Need to pick food-specific channel. For now, I'm trying to think of what channel it could be in. Because we do have a lot of channels in the Discord. Let's see. What could be a good one? Because my brain says arts and crafts, maybe, but... I think so. Maybe. Most food goes in loot posting? Loot posting could work, honestly. But we may need to make like a little recipe book, because I think that might be a nice thing to do for Christmas, is just like look at everyone's recipes and see what we can make for the holidays. Most of the food goes in loot posting, which bothers me sometimes. Makes sense. We could absolutely make a new channel. I just have to remember to do it. I have been so overwhelmed with doing stuff outside of stream that I have... It's cutting into stream time. Jeff, Lord knows how long I've been looking for the best brush set, only to find out default brush works just fine. It's just about preference. Yep. That's pretty much it, honestly. You can absolutely look around for as many brushes as you want. And sometimes nothing will hit this quite as good as the default brush. Peanut butter banana sandwich as the King Elvis Presley and blue Dr. Pepper. There's blue. I've never had blue Dr. Pepper. Granted, I don't drink much soda, so don't have to worry about making channels, honey. You got enough on your plate as is. Thank you. I'm hoping to take my nephew swimming tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. See how tired I get after stream, because I do have to clean my house a little bit. Mainly the kitchen, because dinner. And then I gotta sign up for the class. That ought to be fun, actually. Let's see. How do I do this? Really simple corset. We're going like simple corset. My brain says, ooh, make the base model so you can put outfits on it. I'm like, no, honey, you've tried to do that 3 times. Not worth it. Just remake the model every time. Just do that. It's so much more efficient for you. I hope that was well in advance. Assume it does happen. Thank you. How's stream going? Hi, Noel. Good news. Finally got my braces off. Now I only have to use retainers. Nice! Congratulations! I hope they're more comfortable. North of Reality. Hi, honey and chat. Been watching clips and a few VODs on YouTube, but this is the first time I've made it to. Welcome on in, North. I hope you're doing well. Art is black magic as far as I'm concerned. That's how I feel about background artists. They are wizards. I don't get what they do, but that's okay. North, I cannot do art at all whatsoever, but I love watching content creators and my artist friends make things. I think it's legitimately the coolest and most magical thing to be able to just make lines and have it look like something. Absolutely takes practice and time. So if you want to, you can try. But if not, that is also okay. Oh, that's too thick. Art is difficult sometimes, but very rewarding at the same time. You get what you put into it, kind of, with art. Maybe I'll make this thicker. Is that too thick? Something like this, maybe? Maybe instead just like simple crosses. Yeah, that could work. If I want to, what I could probably do is I could probably have lines like this to help with the corset shape in 3D modeling. That could potentially add a little bit of diversity to the shape itself. Thanks, honey, for being my studying partner in the background. Good night, everybody. Good night, Cube. Welcome in, and thank you for coming. Bomb hot chocolate. Baker's chocolate with vanilla, almond milk, paprika, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, put in a pan, cook till boiled, and throw in a blender. Turn on and pour into a mug. Serve with or without whipped cream and chocolate chips. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds delightful. Simmer, thanks for the clarity, honey, about the supportive community artists are. I don't fully remember where I learned it was supposed to be a competition, but I never liked competitions to begin with growing up. That's okay. I will say a lot of the times we are raised to see other people in general as competition. Particularly if you're raised femme, in my experiences. I'm very fortunate this was not always the case, but you're kind of told that you have to compare yourself to other women a lot of the times. And I'm very fortunate that, yes, I did do that, but it didn't stick very well because I was too interested in doing my own thing. I was too interested in collecting little trinkets. I was too interested in doing little crafts and creating little dolls when I was a little kid that it didn't really matter. And my family was very supportive. So I'm lucky with that. Good night, Leon. Have a good morning shift tomorrow. But we are kind of taught that everything is a competition ever since we were little kids. And I don't think that's quite the right mentality to have. Because if you see everyone as competition for anything, you're going to be kind of lonely. It'll be a kind of lonely experience. What if I had a little choker? Honey loved to add chokers to outfits. I just think they're neat. Does it make it too busy? Let me remove the rough here. Maybe if I move it down a little bit. Chokers are cute. Chokers are pretty cool. Put on the Joker streamer. Jedi, yeah. Every time Present You goes, all right, I'm gonna make this model and just make multiple outfits for it. Future Honey goes, I've improved. Why don't I just make another model? Exactly. Present now past Honey, no, stop. I make this model to be time efficient. Just make a few new outfits instead of a new model. Future Honey already halfway done with the new model. Ooh, too late. Legitimately, every time I have tried to make a base model for myself, my brain, by the time I get an outfit designed, is like, just make a new one. You've gotten so much better. And it is true. I made a base model for this angel model so I could have a new outfit afterwards. I designed the outfit and then went, why don't I just make a new model? And now here we are once again, where I'm like, let me just make a new model. And so I will. And I'm not going to bother with base models for myself anymore. Thorain, not me. I was more focused on dealing with bullying because my ADHD and lung problems. No, Thorain! You were truly struggling. I'm so sorry. Hi, Pumpkin Bravo. Pumpkin Pyro. Welcome in. Having a good day. I'm chilling. Taking it easy. Heard people say before chokers do lightly strangle you. Is that true or is that a myth? No idea. I've worn chokers before and they are not meant to choke you or affect you at all. They're just fashion. Women comparing themselves to other women sounds like a hard way to grow up. It's difficult. It is very difficult. And I worry for kids in this social media age because so much of what people see online is, I think doctored is the right word, but it's just like everything is a filter. Nothing is quite real. So whenever kids look in the mirror nowadays, they may not feel like they looked like the way they want. It can be really, really difficult for them. Suchit's models all the way down. She's just making models. Choker is actually choking you. That choker doesn't fit. Yep. A choker should not be choking you, just like how a corset should not be affecting your ability to breathe. Corsets were not actually meant to be that tight. A lot of the times when you see people... Also, hi, Box Brasher. How's it going? Welcome in. I hope you had a lovely stream. What was I saying? Right, corsets were not actually supposed to make you look thinner. It was... Like, when you see photos of women who had tiny, tiny waists, a lot of the times, those photos were edited. It is possible to Photoshop in the past. Corsets were mostly used as just, like... For some, it was back support. For some, it's like a bra, kinda. It's not meant to choke you. Okay, modern corsets are not fitted properly. They don't take hips into account. It's important to do. You gotta take the hips into account. Yep. I feel like boys are also raised to see each other's competition. Absolutely. Yes. Nowadays, everyone is raised to compare themselves to other people. And I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Because everyone is different, everyone changes at their own pace, and it is important to make sure you take that into consideration when you're learning a new skill. Or even looking at yourself. But how's it going, Brock Sprasher? Let's see. Oh, you were doing art. What were y'all drawing? What were you up to? What's the expression? Comparison is the thief of joy or something like that. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy. My previous caregiving job, I saw social media can affect kids. Kids should not be watching 18 plus content under the age. No, they should not. Granted, when kids get to around 14 to 16, they will probably look for 18 plus content because of curiosity. So it is really important as a parent to have proper conversations. And as awkward as it may be, explain to them what is real when it comes to 18 plus content and what is not real. What looks like a healthy relationship with another person versus what is not. Because if they do not learn from parents or teachers what a healthy, consensual, safe relationship looks like, they will use what they have seen as reference. So it's really important to show them, like, this 18 plus thing is not realistic. It is not bad necessarily to look at it, but it is not something you should expect in a real life relationship. That is an important conversation to have with your kids, you know? Just got home from work. Hope you're having fun, honey. We're gonna mod low poly honey into Mario 64. I have no idea how to do that, but we are gonna make a low poly. I was doing a tutorial stream of how to animate in Blender. Whoa, it's sick! I am learning how to make Blender models right now. I am specifically trying to make a low poly version of me. It is difficult, but I'm learning. Sam agreed. I hope I get to be a father one day. It's a dream I have. Oh, good. I'm really excited when people want to be parents. Like when someone is very eager to be a parent in the way where they're like, I am excited to support and love my child. and help them grow into a safe environment, whether they be like me or not. And that is important. PS oneification. Yeah. Mm-mm. North of reality. My parents never discussed any kind of thing with me, so I learned entirely from the internet, which surely has done no damage to my psyche whatsoever. My parents didn't quite teach me either. I'm very fortunate that in my high school I had decent sex ed classes. Like, my teacher was very kind and was very good when it came to asking questions. We didn't learn enough, in my opinion. There's always more you can dive into. But in terms of learning the scientific side and, the importance of being safe, that's a good chunk, I guess. Hey, Governor, how's it going? Meta done with cardio? Nice. Reminder that life most likely is digital than real because Minecraft and their infinite code to create a world. Thanks, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What? What? Allowed to be a parent, I think I'd be a pretty decent dad. And part of that is knowing that I absolutely have no money for that right now. Yep. There is something very responsible about going, hey, I would like to, but I can't right now. And that is okay. Understanding, like, I personally do not think that I would want to have children. Simply because I don't think I could properly care for one. I love my nephew, and that is more than enough for me. Let's actually do kind of what this person does here. Let's have like a low boot kind of style. What does that look like? Let's do a little rough. Is this the rough head? Oh yeah, we want to keep that. There we go. Seems to be your nephew to you. To you is who Zuko was to Iroh. Kinda, yeah. Do you talk to him on... You do talk about him in stream a lot? Yeah, he is the closest I will probably ever have to a kid. And that is perfectly fine with me. If you're making a low poly model, something to keep in mind. Keep poly count below 1K. Make sure your texture files, the UV unwrapping hands are not high poly. Make sure textures fix the UV unwrapping hands are not high poly. Gotcha. I'm trying to make hands kind of like this. Very, very simple, kind of like this sort of style hands. So like they're individual, but they're really, really simple. We doing our best. Beautiful way to describe it, and one that I don't want to miss out on. Didn't you one time say he loves watching Paw Patrol? So no, he does not love watching Paw Patrol. He loves Sesame Street, which is good. He loves Sesame Street. Oh, he sang Sunny Days. He sang Sunny Days when I was in the car with him. Oh, I love him. It's so cute hearing a little baby go, sunny days, turn the clouds away. It's so cute. Ah, love him. My high school sex ed, I think, just intended to scare us at ever doing it. Yeah, I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm so sorry that they did not educate you and they instead just scared you, because that is not good. You cannot just scare people into not doing what they want. They are going to do it, and really, they're going to do it wrong if you don't educate them. It's important. Something like this. Maybe like this, actually. Make the heels a little higher. Base Neffy supporting PBS over the class traders of Paw Patrol. Exactly. Exactly. Was very funny. The amount of times I have seen a police car want to go through an intersection but not want to wait, so he turns on his lights, goes through the intersection, and turns off his lights. It's like, dude, there is no emergency. You just wanted to leave. Like, you were abusing the sirens. Those are for emergencies, sir. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Hey, thank you for the resub. Happy 40 months. That's a long time. That's a long time. Would have 100% abused that path. In Chicago, cops just straight up ignore red lights without bothering the My southern high school had an assembly that was like, hello kids, I had sex once. Now I have HIV. You will do too if you ever have sex. Condoms don't work. Those lying motherfuckers. That's a lie. They're lying. I grew kind of that way. I was taught with fear in mind. It made seizing the initiative in life difficult to have. Yep. It's tough. Art tag. Thank you, Myth. Let me get the art tags. Ooh. Okay. All right. Let me share this with the class. Ta-da! This is what Brox was working on. Public school in the South, baby. Gotta love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry y'all had bad sex educations. That's really rough, homie. But like, look at that. Those are all such cool different textures. It's like got more of a matte, a metal, kind of like a hard candy, and then another metal. It looks sick. Shapes attacking from the sky. They're coming to get you. But thank you, Brox. Thank you for sharing, and thank you, Myth, for sending it. I appreciate it. But yeah, good luck with teaching Blender or doing kind of a tutorial on it, because honestly, we love tutorials. The ring makes me think of Sonic. My church once said that HIV can go through the condom like a ping pong ball going through a basketball hoop. Looking back at it now, that wasn't an appropriate sermon for a church teen youth. Oh my god. They're just straight up lying to people now. Just reminds me of that video of like the woman calling churches going like, hey, I need formula for my baby. And the church is going, no. Just in different ways. And then her calling mosques and all of them like, yeah, absolutely. Your baby needs to eat. It's just like, geez. That's indicative. Oh no. Thanks for showing. This is a frame of some animations I was teaching. Right, it was animations you're teaching. Green Cube and Ring were mostly showcasing exaggeration and squash and stretch. All good fundamentals. While I was using the red curve and gear to show key framing with a rotational location. Ooh. Do you have... So, Brox, do you post these to YouTube? These tutorials to YouTube? Or do you just do it on your Twitch? Very often we make fun of the US education system here in the Europes, but honestly we use the same system and the whole system is broken and mostly there to keep kids under control so parents can participate in the economy. Think of the economy. Very, very rough. Kids deserve to know. And in a safe place where they can ask safe questions. It's so important. It reminds me of the Mean Girls. If you have sex, you will get pregnant and you will die. That really... The thing is, I feel like that's not an exaggeration. I'm lucky that my high school was like, yeah, so the way to protect yourself is to use condoms. That'll protect you from pregnancy, STDs, and HIV and AIDS. Like, that's really good. If the condom breaks, go to the hospital, ask for a post-exposure protection pill. Because you can actually protect yourself if your condom breaks and you are worried, or if something happens and you are exposed, potentially, go to the emergency room or I guess urgent care and go, hey, this happened. I would like something for post-exposure. And they will usually give you a pill for it. So it's really, really important. Because its what's it called? Its efficacy, as far as I recall, is more effective the sooner you take it. So do that immediately. Yes. What y'all learned in high school? I am fortunate that I learned in high school. I went to a high school where there's a specific class for that, and the teacher was very, very chill. Could have been better, but I've heard the stories and definitely could have been worse. Nothing teaches kids better than fear. Remember the DARE program? The DARE program that famously did not work. Yeah. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub to Zooch. Sorry, I went on my like little rant here. Saying goes nothing quite as hateful as Christian love. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Bro, my sex ed was in 4th grade. This was a Catholic private school. Hopefully it was a good one. Learned in elementary 6th grade. So I learned a lot of different stages when I was a kid. So I learned like what the private parts were called as like a person in, like a kid in grade 1. We learned about periods around the time that kids got their periods. Granted, I learned early because I read a book. I was so interested in books and learning that I went to the library a lot, and my parents got me a book about changing bodies, and I was like, oh, cool. And I read that book like 10 times because it was fascinating. And the very cool thing about it is I remember it had not visual pictures of how breasts would develop, it had like a diagram with very, very fun, like very simple, not intimidating art of like, here, this is how it usually starts. Usually this is how the breast develops as you get older. And I was like, oh, interesting. So this is what might happen to me when I get older. Okay. And that was really good. I'm very thankful that my parents got me that book. Yeah, I think these boobs look good. Nice and high up like this. Under 1K polygons for low poly. I'm not sure if I'm going to go like full low poly. I am just going to go low poly-esque, I think. My brother and I, we jokingly call ourselves as broken wraparound BPs. What does that mean? Hearing the stories of how unhelpful some sex ed classes are, I'm kind of surprised how actually informative my rural small town school class was. But it's different everywhere you go. There is no guaranteed, honestly. So this may sound strange, but one of the best things you can do is educate your children. Make sure that they know, and not just the really flowery, like, oh, you'll understand when you're older, the birds and the bees. No, use the actual terms, the actual visuals, and go, this is how it usually happens. This is how it happens in heterosexual and homosexual. Both are important. And it's really important to be chill and keep an open mind about it, you know? Because otherwise, your kid is going to learn from somewhere else. And hopefully their school is good at teaching them. But you want to be really careful about what they learn on the internet. That doesn't mean censor the internet. That means make sure they understand the importance of bodily autonomy of both them and the person that they are engaging with. Just don't educate children in front of the conservatives because that's grooming in it. It's very frustrating that is how it's framed, because it's not. It is not. You cannot protect children's innocence by keeping them ignorant. If anything, that will put them into so much more danger. Oh, a little stretch. Kids, you have a picture of a boob? Librarian. Better, we have a diagram of boob. Mm-hmm. Love that. Hello, Kobold, welcome in. Hearing and seeing all this sex talk makes me a bit worried that there are some things I haven't learned. Absolutely. So the downside of Twitch is that a lot of the times education can potentially get censored, but it is something that I feel is very important to learn. Like, something that some people may not know with periods is like, something I learned recently because I experienced it, is your period can pause and then come back. That is something I did not know until recently because of the stress that my body is under. You can also skip periods and not be pregnant. That is something that is really scary because as a kid, I was very excited to have my period because even though I was not engaging in any sexual activity whatsoever, my brain was scared because of the Virgin Mother Mary, where I was like, my period is late. I'm 14. I've never even held hands with a boy. I'm pregnant. And then I get my period a month later and I'm like, oh, thank God. Yep. Mm-hmm. It is menopause? Nah. Not until later. Also, thing to consider, sometimes menopause can hit early. That is actually something that is really important to learn. For what I have learned is menopause hits you for a year and then you're done. You just don't have periods. And usually it hits women, I think they're in their 40s or 50s, maybe later. It varies. So menopause can also be medically forced. Did not know that, but it does not surprise me. Dizzy, I'm 25. It's news to me, but welcome news. Thank you. No worries. Yeah. It is you don't really learn everything until you experience it. And having a uterus is a wild trip, honestly, because sometimes you're like, I'm sick, I have a headache, am I dying? And it's just like your period comes 2 days later, or you're feeling particularly down in the dumps and really, really in a bad place. And then 2 days later, it's like, oh, I was PMSing. I'm on my period. Sometimes PMSing happens way far away from your period. Sometimes it happens during. It's the uterus is a wild card. Getting heat flashes is just annoying. Yeah, that happens. That happens, and you don't even need to go through menopause. Critic of Innocence, thank you for the resub. Happy, jeez, 48 48 months is I think that's 4 years. I think that's 4 years, Critic. Jeez. Honey Goblin stream. And now you know. If you didn't know before, I'm glad I told you, because it's important things to know. Some people have periods that are so debilitating that they cannot get up. Genuinely, it is really tough. I am fortunate that I have not experienced that. But I am not the standard, you know? People absolutely experience things differently. If there was suddenly a legislation to introduce time off for not just people with uteruses, but everyone once a month, I think the world would be a better place. I think the world would be a much kinder place. Because, see, boys are extremely badly socialized and educated around the topic of female healthcare, pregnancy, and sex in general. There's nobody teaching them, and the patriarchy makes it so they don't really feel like they need to know anything about those things. That is one of those things that is really tricky, where it's like, okay, from a young age, you have to start learning about people that are not like you. Because if they don't, they are more likely to have a narrow worldview and have very low empathy. It is not impossible to get that empathy back and learn, but it is not normal if they do, you know? You have to teach them how to care and help each other. People cannot survive just on their own. There is no such thing as a lone wolf that thrives. They end up either joining another pack or dying. Humans are inherently social creatures. We help each other. We tend to each other when we need to, you know? When we need help, we help and support each other. We cooperate, and that's how we ended up where we're at now. We should emphasize diversifying friend groups. Not just diversifying friend groups, because sometimes there is an actual limitation. I grew up in a majorly white neighborhood. Like, that is definitely a thing for me. I grew up in a mostly white neighborhood. And so I'm very fortunate. Well, unfortunately, while I was growing up, there was not a lot of representation for people of color. But even so, I'm very fortunate that I was exposed to different cultures and different media of that culture, so it helped me to empathize with people who did not look like me. It was really important. Because, yeah, there is a level of when I saw people of color that I had never really seen before, there was an element of, instead of like, oh, what is that? It was curiosity. I was like, I've never seen this before. Like, this is very new to me. And so I approached it with an air of empathy and curiosity when I do. And that's kind of the thing you want the kids to have, is not a sort of standoffish thing of something new. You want them to be curious in a positive way, you know? Yeah. Bam. I have a low poly too. Poly's my cat. She's often down on the floor. That's pretty low. That's pretty low, yeah. Maybe I want to raise the boots a little bit, actually. I keep going like, short boots. No, what if I raise them? Mooba moment, yeah. One of the last films I saw with my mother in theaters was You There God, It's Me, Margaret, which is a book, and I think it was adapted into a film before. Kind of deals with that kind of thing from a perspective of a girl that is to deal with it firsthand. I know it can't be easy, but I say I relate to it as a man. One Latam joke was we refer to the period as Andres, the who comes every month. The joke makes more sense in Spanish. Andre el que llega cada mes. Is it kind of like Aunt Flo? The Aunt Flo joke? Sugar Pony, thank you for the ear wiggles. Randomar, thank you for the hydrate. And Johnny, thank you for the posture check. Such. I have a friend who had those debilitating ones every time. They finally were able to get a hysterectomy, and now I'm happy for them, so they're free of pain. Yep, same thing. I have a friend, actually, Gabi, who had really awful periods, but now had a hysterectomy, and she's way better now. She's like, she doesn't have to experience the really horrific cramps and the downsides of it, you know? Oh, little stretch. Whew. Hydrate, and here we go. Gaming Illustrator. I can safely say a lot of the time when we try to learn or show empathy, we're treated like a weirdo or creep for it, or just told to screw off. So we usually just keep to our distance and only help when asked because it's easier than getting treated like crap by someone who doesn't want to help or tell us so we can understand. I can't speak from a mask perspective, Gaming Illustrator, so you'll have to forgive me if this is a little bit of a naive perspective. But I do think that practicing doing not necessarily out there things, but just doing nice things is good for people, like holding a door open. A lot of just common courtesy stuff is a good way to reinforce in your brain that socializing and people are not inherently suspicious of you or afraid of you, you know? I'm super lucky that I made good friends online because given my parents and education, I could have very easily ended up being an awful person. It's part of why, as much as I joke about the internet doing damage to my psyche, I can never really regret that I spent so much time online as a kid. Fair, you know? That is absolutely fair. Be frank. Speaking of, learned about an interesting psychiatric treatment from the 40s and 50s. It's called insulin shock therapy, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Intentionally induced diabetic comas through high insulin dose to treat schizophrenic patients. That sounds horrific, actually. What the heck? Jasper, thanks for the 100 shinies. Fun fact, I learned recently the lone wolf thing is actually caused by a parasite found in bobcat poop. That or mountain lion. I don't remember which. Not the point. Anyway, wolf gets infected with this parasite by eating the poop or something touching the poop. However, it gets transmitted, and then the parasite alters the wolf's brain to go be alone and also extra aggressive. Basically, being a lone wolf is actually a very bad thing. It is. It is indeed. In Canada, we started importing people from third world countries by the millions now, using diversity as a buzzword for it. And they had little time adapting to our country, and in my workplace experience, they're mistreating women. This worries me because it can lead to low empathy for everyone involved. I have no idea how true that is, because that does sound like something that might have been made up by discriminatory media. So like, I don't know how much I believe that, because like I'm always very wary when people are like, "Oh, immigrants are something," and it's like, okay, what is your agenda? Why is that being said? You know, got to think critically about it, because it is a very hot topic where a lot of people use it as an excuse to justify hateful treatment of those who are not like them. I do not think people come here with bad intentions or with intent to harm. I think a lot of people come to different places because they just want to live. Immigrants are a major important part of most economies. Absolutely, yes. Especially with declining birth rates. Immigration is genuinely one of the better solutions because you cannot force people to have children. That is extremely unethical. That's bad. But also, if people are usually choosing not to have kids for economic factors, it's probably because they can't take care of the kids. The kids will probably not be able to have a good life or be able to live well. Dang, this model's looking cute. She's looking cute. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, one of the ways to do that is to bring in people who want to work here, you know, because not only will it help bolster the workforce, but it will also help to bring potentially more families in, you know? You can't force people, but there's definitely reasonable ways to increase birth rates. Most of it is usually better pay, better stable living situations, better healthcare, better support for social services, but we are sorely lacking in all of those. And so a lot of people, me included, are like, I am not going to bring a kid into this world that is just going to be them and me suffering. I'm cutting it off there. I love my nephew and I'm going to do all that I can to support him because he's already here. I love him very much. But yeah. Basically everything the government refuses to acknowledge. Yeah. And once again, I need to stress, if you want to have a child, that is absolutely okay. That is your choice. There is nothing wrong with that. I am not involved in that process, so I don't, my opinion doesn't matter that much, you know? All right, let's do the dress. Oh, he got Neffy. Exactly, I got my Neffy. But yeah, I don't want kids. Fair. I'm already enough of me. I know that I don't think I would be able to support a child personally. And that is just me, and that's okay. What everyone wants in life is different. And that is good. Did YouTube pause the music for me? What the heck? YouTube, please. Please, I just want a Christmas lo-fi. There we go. I forgot what I was saying. Is there someone you forgot to ask? Didn't say it, but good to have it back, honey. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you very much. Building a Lego Minecraft Enderman statue house thing, and it's gonna be tall. It's the big Enderman statue? Nice. Have fun building it. Let's see. I'm trying to do the skirt in low poly. I'm trying to think of how I would do it. Because there's two parts of the skirt. There's the top skirt and the lower skirt. So I'm trying to think of how to do this. Did you hear about the Crunchyroll drama? Aren't they removed? I'm gonna be so for real. I don't do subscription services. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Crunchyroll. I don't have HBO. I don't have Disney. I don't have Hulu. I don't got whatever. I don't have any of those. I go to the library. And if something is there, I watch it. If it's not there and I want to watch it, I ask my librarian and then they order for me. And then I just watch it that way. It's free. You already pay the government for libraries. The libraries can get that stuff. Drink up, my heart is your hope. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the other one. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Netflix and Twitch are my only fixes. That's okay. Listen, I'm absolutely not saying, like, oh, shame on you for getting these things. No. Absolutely. Do what you will. I just can't keep up with all the drama and that. And I'd rather give my money to people who would better benefit from it. I would rather give it to artists that I commission, small shops, ideally, that will appreciate my money and will actually go further. Independent creators who use it for living and existing. Occasionally, I will go into a Walmart and get something if I can't find something. That's fine. I have to make concessions sometimes, where it's like for the sake of efficiency and me living, I have to balance what I can want ethically. You know? Return to the open seas of 2000s, relearn the ways of the torrent. I hope that is a skill that does not die out. Let's see. How am I going to low poly this? Maybe like this? Kind of like that? Speaking of small shops, recently found out it's possible to order RPG rulebooks and manga from the very small local bookstore. Yes, it absolutely is. If you would like to own books, 100% you can go to a small self-owned bookstore and order it there. Nothing wrong with doing that. Plugbear, thank you for the 100 shinies. Zindel, thank you for the save, by the way. Let me save this. And Zindel, thank you for the breathe. Subscription services are getting cheaper by the day. They absolutely are. Like, and thank you, Redmond. I'm glad you like this. Physical media, no exceptions. I love physical media. Love physical media. we are getting to that age where I am trying to get DVDs of things that I would like to have in case I lose internet or in case I lose access to films and stuff online. I want to have physical things of the things I own. Because when everything can be taken away from you with a subscription service, you don't really have anything, you know? DVDs are tremendous to have when you just want to pop on a movie. Yep, absolutely. One of my favorite movies to watch I have is Pride and Prejudice. It's the 2005 version. I love Pride and Prejudice. It's one of my favorite movies. I want to watch the BBC version because I think my mom watched that one and she really liked it, and Girl DM has watched it, and I'm like, ooh, could be fun. But yeah, I want to not have to worry about that so much. Tip: get airtight boxes for your physical media. Airtight boxes? What for? Eventually, all the subscription service will merge and release a new product. Cable, probably, yeah. Subscription services are, I think, more expensive than cable now, and so I'm just like, just pirate it. Just become pirate. Once again, if buying isn't owning, then stealing isn't theft, or whatever it is. Protect discs against dust. Oh, gotcha. Make sure you get cases for them. Wouldn't that be the same, just getting cases for them? Love how romantic movies that take me away from modern life. Ooh, romantic movies. That sounds fun. Subscriptions services used to be convenient and nice. Now they're so oppressive, it's embarrassing. Yeah, and now they're adding ads in. It's just like, no. No, no, no. None of that. I ain't having any of that. Get out of here. Remember printing out a few chapters of Pride and Prejudice for my friend when she was in boot camp. She passed it around for others to read because there was some kind of withdrawal from media for them during that time. Jeez. And have a CD burner because you can burn movies and TV shows on DVDs. Yep, absolutely. That's what I would like to do. You can get a lot of DVD burners just generally online. Sorry, I'm gonna eat more of my sauerkraut. DVD burners are not illegal because a lot of people need them for work. A lot of people need to burn like projects onto DVDs for presentations. So go for it. Buy a subscription and pay us more, not just the ads. Yeah, exactly. It's no wonder people nowadays are going to retro tech because it's like buying retro tech does not. It's not trying to sell you anything. It already is sold. You own it. It's done its job. And honestly, yeah. To a certain extent, I don't like looking at Steam because every time I open it, it's trying to sell me something. And I'm like, no, stop that. I'm tired of that. I got the games I want to play. Let me play them. I don't need more. I've already have a library of stuff that I bought during sales that I don't play. I'm not doing that. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty alright. Maybe I'll raise this a little higher. At this point, I have a big enough backlog for the rest of my life. At this point, yeah. The games that I've played, I can probably play them again because it's been several years since I played Undertale, and I'm like, I could probably play Undertale again. Sounds like somebody wants to sell me something. Tony, thank you for the 100 shinies, by the way. Get a Raspberry Pi, get an e-paper screen, get a sun battery, build yourself a weird little prepper computer, and put an offline copy of Wikipedia on it. Yep, absolutely. Genuinely, getting a copy of Wikipedia, you can download it, is just good idea. Just so you have the information. There's no sparkle effect in your pen? Yeah, got a little sparkle effect. It's cute. It's whimsical and fun. Evening, good luck, have fun. I want to work on my model, but I exported my split up model in PSD and brought it in and realized I don't have the limbs separately corrected. I'm not sure how to fix it yet, so I'm in the blast. So, Faith, interesting. In Live 2D, what you can do, and this is what I do constantly because I constantly forget to do things and separate certain things. Keep it the way it is in Live 2D. Take the arms by themselves, put them on a separate layer in a separate Photoshop file. In this new Photoshop file with the arms, separate them the way you would like. Save the Photoshop file under a different name, or the same if you, well, no, not the same. Save it as under a different name. Re-import it into Live 2D and add it to the pre-existing model. It will be added as a new folder in that model file. So you don't have to re-import the entire thing. You can absolutely just bring in multiple PSDs. Good luck. That's what I do constantly when I realize I messed up and I have to change something. But yeah, give it a try, Faith. Let me know if you need any help. I can do my best to direct you. Low poly, honey. Is the head too big? No, the head's a good shape. Okay, good. Before we get Mohawk word of the stream, tonight's word was going to be belt, but then I learned another word in my search, and now it's gayuni. Which is a proper name for wappum belt, which are tapestries made of wappum shell, beads that commemorate events or concepts. The flag of Haudenosaunee is based on a wappum belt. I was going to send this as a cheer, but Automo was being weird again, I guess. Yeah, it for some reason tagged Ga. Don't know why. I feel like Honey would be infamous since it would have let her picked being the hero or the villain. Would like infamous. Gotcha. Not sure on the terminator of limbs and the clothing so that it moves right and doesn't become funky gaps. Didn't know they would do that though. Okay. Yeah, cutting is difficult, but you can re-import. Just letting you know. Okay, I think this is pretty good for where it's at. What I might do is I might add a typical of my outfits. This little guy. Love my little hair clip. I just think it looks cute. There we are. I just think it looks neat. And now we do this. We grab these. And then what's this one? Oh, that's rough boots. Right. And now we color. I think you're neat. Thank you, Johnny. Automat is a strange creature indeed. The sketch looks like it'd be a sprite of Honey Goblin dating sim. Kinda, yeah. It's cute. Oh, I did such a good job with this style. I think this looks great. What are you doing, Honey Goblin? You also look amazing. Thank you. I'm drawing a low poly version of myself because I think it'd be fun. Let me scooch it up a little bit so the feet aren't so close to the bottom. Hey, Lazy Chucks. Before I go to bed, honey, may I say something? Absolutely. So long as it is TOS. We're all good. Is the drawing hand new? No, sometimes I just forget to turn it on. I've had it for at least a year, I think. But sometimes I forget. My will to art wanes. I really love the way this looks, by the way. But I don't know, something about seeing rad art and then looking at my stuff has made my brain decide that no, as a matter of fact, you shan't receive the happy chemicals. Comparison is the thief of joy. That is okay. If your brain is not feeling it, that is okay. That happens. When your brain goes, ah, yes, let's look at this and be sad at what our stuff is doing, rather than being oh, I forgot the mirror tool's on. But rather than be happy, that's a good sign to probably take a break. But, Lexer, thank you for the raid. Knights in training coming through. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How was training? How are you doing? The frame looks legitimately game-changing. I haven't upgraded my VR setups since OG Rift. Ooh. You're playing Baldur's Gate 3. Nice. How far are you in Baldur's Gate 3? Remember, thank you for your support and guidance, honey. Past 3 years have been stressful as hell. Dangerous job and all. I've been hard on myself, competing and comparing, even though a lot of my efforts have paid off and continue to do so. I'm not sure what the future holds, even if I know I'll be alright, but what I'm learning from you appeals to me and might be what I always needed, so thank you. No worries. You are more than welcome to come hang out whenever you're feeling it. I usually stream Monday evenings, so now at 6 p.m. PST. And sorry, I got distracted by this. And Fridays at the same time, and Saturdays on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. PST. Just kind of take it chill for the most part. Oh, I used the wrong color. That's okay. This works. Getting lobotomized with the homies on Baldur's Gate 3. Ballinga's tree. Wow. But yeah, take it easy, Zimmer. Thank you for coming. Dark Urge, Alfira, and if you know, you know. Gotcha. I do not know, and that's okay. Baldur's Gate 3 has been out long enough where I'm like, spoilers. I'm not too surprised by spoilers. It's okay. I've seen the fan art. So I'll keep those times in mind. I look forward to future streams. May need to hold myself accountable and go to bed early next time. It's 1 a.m. here in Canada. Yeah, get some rest, chill, take it easy, and hopefully I'll see you around. If not, that is also okay. Good luck sleeping. Does Honey have one of those little remotes that makes drawing workflows faster, or does she have one of those shortcut keypads? I just have a keyboard where I use my hotkeys. I use very basic hotkeys as well. Nothing super complicated. I work pretty minimally. So I don't have one of those cool workflow mouses though. I wonder if I would like that. Clothing layer, and then invert. Whoop! Oh, wrong one. Invert. There we are. Got a new idol in the making. Playbear, I think part of me is second guessing if the your character here thing I was cooking up even passes the is this anything test. Brain is fuck I should get dink and maybe a snack. Yeah. Get a little drink and a little snack. Treat yourself to something nice. And take it easy. Some people swear by those, especially editors. Yeah, I have heard that a lot of artists really love that one mouse pad that has multiple things for buttons. I've never used one before, and I'm curious to see if I would like it. I don't know if I would, but maybe. Tenny Fox. I tried to beat Baldur's Gate 3 in the hardest difficulty for the achievement, but Merkel is such cheating spamming. I started to play Baldur's Gate 3 for fun. Where is this? There it is. I started playing it on easy mode because I was like, I'm playing solo. I don't care too much about the combat. No thank you. No thank you. There we are. Powdered Honey looks cute. Is she your next model? She is going to be one of my next models, yeah. This is for a low poly model that I am working on. There we go. I am learning Blender. I am stretching my limbs into the realm of 3D and hoping it goes well. So far, it's been pretty fun. I worked on a skeleton. I haven't done the face rigging for it, but I figured instead of watching tutorials while I'm live on Twitch, I would just start planning a low poly model for myself in Blender. And we can start to learn how to model that together. I think that would be fun. Honey's gonna be your idol. I'll be your idol. That's a good song. Today I learned it's easy to fake a drawing time lapse. Apparently all you need to do is disable chroma key during sketching bit, and when it's time for the lines, add the green back. Yep. It is particularly difficult to tell from time lapses now if something is genuinely someone else's art. I feel bad for people who haven't had an account for longer than 3 years, because it is especially hard to tell if someone is AI now. One of the big ways is to check if they stream, and if they stream their process and it looks like it makes sense and matches what they're advertising, then yeah, there's usually nothing to worry about there. Oop. I've been doing this for long enough where I'm like, if people want to see my work progress, they can absolutely just see it on stream. Newer people may have to consider that, which can be tough. Because some people don't like streaming their work progress, and that is absolutely fair. In order for me to draw quickly for client work, I don't usually stream at all, because sometimes I do best when I am not focusing on chat or being entertaining and yapping always. It's much easier when I can just zone out to a song that I like and draw. And now also the thing to consider for me is when I do work, I listen to one song on repeat. It becomes kind of a meditative thing where I just listen to the same song over and over and over and over and over again. Mugen did a video on the artist named Teru calling out another artist for tracing AI and charging $120 for that. Dang. Johnny, you do that too? Absolutely. When I get in a particular mood, my brain goes, all right, we are going to just listen to this one song. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. No one's listening. I don't got to worry about annoying someone with this song. And then I do it. All right, there's the back hair layer. Let's move that down here. I just realized I probably could have mirrored this, huh? Oh well, that's fine. Yap, yap, yap. We like the yap. Thank you. AI could have been used for many amazing things, and instead people used it to try to steal the jobs of everyone in a creative career. They used it to remove the thing that makes us the most human. I've seen some artists show that their Photoshop layers as proof. Yes, another way to do it is to genuinely ask the artist to show you the Photoshop layers or get the Photoshop file yourself. It is now a point where, like, I usually don't share my CS Paint files because I don't want people to use it and edit the work in a way that would not reflect my work. Now, here's an example of this, because some people may not quite understand what I'm saying. But if I give someone the model files to the model and they make adjustments, how much can they claim it is a Honey Goblin model versus a model that they have edited? And how do you distinguish that? So it muddies the water of quality. So if someone says, oh, I have a Honey Goblin model, and it's a heavily edited model that doesn't look like my art or move like my models, it's not representative of my actual skill level. So that's one of the reasons I do not share the model files as well as the CS Paint files. It's a issue of quality and presentation of branding for work, you know? Generative AI has no good uses. Generative AI really does not have any good uses that I can think of, except for making people have to mistrust everything they see on the internet, as well as incriminating people for things they have not done, you know? It muddies the waters of truth. Do that one day. Just show us how you do the doodles on song repeats. It might be fine, but I'm be so for real. I don't know if y'all will want to listen to Iris out for 2 hours. Funny how everyone thought we'd identify robots by asking them emotional or art questions, when in reality AI can fake that, but easily. But ChatGPT can't answer a math problem correctly. Yeah. But yeah, Jedi, the song is Iris Out. Is that from Chainsaw Man? Yeah, it's the Chainsaw Man movie theme song. It's just a good one. It's just a banger, honestly. All right, there's the clothing. I just have to do the boots. You know what? I can turn on the mirror tool for this. There we go. Went to that twice, thinking about third watching. I haven't watched it yet, and I want to. Because I really like Chainsaw Man. I think it is a very, very interesting story. And I feel bad for Denji. Denji deserves a happier life. Yep. The LLM bubble is prone to burst any moment. It won't go away necessarily, and it'll probably set actually a development back by 50 years. No LLM will ever lead to AGI. Yeah. Yeah. It's bad. It only gets more unhinged in the second, what you call it, saga arc. It gets crazier, and that's the fun part about it. Honestly, I could listen to that for hours. I already do that with other songs. It's good. Burned my stomach a couple weeks ago. I forgot not to crack an egg high above oil, and I had the oil too hot trying to fry an egg. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Johnny, thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. Also, Lex, thank you again for the raid. I hope you had a lovely time. You know, the gingerbread AT&T I built last week, the Enderman is going to be about double its height. Jeez, that is huge. All right, let's do the body. Resistant theories? I don't know. I am not sure, honestly. It might still be. Love the lasso tool. It's so good. Lasso tool is also a good way to test if it kind of is low poly right now, based on how many curves this needs. Dang it. Connect. Please. No, stop it. And then I undo. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It gave a little V-neck. There we go. Okay. Now the hands. Gotta learn how to turn grayscale into color. It's tricky, for sure, but is a good thing to practice. Where you can just put the palette on it and guess from there, if you'd like. Color is tricky. I don't even have all the answers for color, because I'm still learning. I don't got all the information, and that's okay. I had to brute force my way through some art block, haven't done a full digital piece in ages, and that is not a skill I want to atrophy. I think what might be good if you'd like is instead of making a full piece, do some sketches. Some sketches that don't have to be finished. Make the bar lower for your brain to enter. Instead of saying, oh, I have to make a finished digital art piece, go, I'd like to draw stick figures. Some simple. A little cat, a little meow meow. Sindel Cheez-Its is putting out festive house building kits. I hesitate to call it a gingerbread house because it's, Cheez-Its. Yeah. But yeah, I got a whole degree in computer information systems only to see AI bros be arrogantly wrong about everything involved. Also, no one needs a smart fridge, and smart TVs are one of the most hacked devices in homes. I want a dumb TV. I want a TV that just works, doesn't have like dimming and auto dimming or any of that, doesn't connect to the internet. That's it. That's all I want. I just want it to be large enough for me to see and watch a movie with my friends. That's it. I want it to plug and not connect to Wi-Fi. Lasso? The lasso tool. Yeah, that's what I was using. Okay, let's use the base colors. So we're going to lock these. I'm going to make a hair layer, actually. What color is the hair? I forgot. We'll just do a lighter gray for now. I want the buttons on my TV back. I love the buttons. Give me the buttons back. Stop taking away my ability to press buttons. It's silly. It'd be nice if if stores sold old TVs. I want, like, old TVs. Really tired of the new smart TVs. They're so stupid. The one I had was an old TV. It worked great. Downside, it was too small. It was a really small screen. It was about as small as my monitor, which is not big enough to watch movies with your friends. OLED is bad, but it overheats your TV. The Switch OLED? Much as Honey Goblin's Kingsfield would rock Honey Goblin Mega Man Legends, that is the way. HDMI ports are bad, actually, because they're exploitative proprietary tech. Display ports are where it's at. Got a smart TV not intentionally, just wanted a new TV that still had AV plugs in it. Don't you realize tech bros are really just overgrown children who rely on vibes over actual science? Is it weird my brain recalls the mention of good vibes? Oh, OLED screens? Gotcha. And subject of Gen A, I think I'm gonna start posting my art back on Twitter again, which sucks, but also I'm massively handicapping myself as a small artist if I don't. I don't know how true that is, but I can't say don't post on Twitter. It is absolutely not a necessarily bad idea as far as I can say. Just don't get too caught up in your self-worth being tied to how much attention you get. Because yeah, I will not deny, Twitter is where some clients are. Absolutely. It is not where the only clients are, but it is definitely a place for them. The trickiest part about doing stuff on social media is finding the clients, because a lot of the times clients are not on the art sites. Unless they are actually doing active research, most clients don't know to go to art sites. They go on social media sites, which is not necessarily the best place to look, but it's not the worst. It's not an awful place, because artists are on there. The hell with Twitter, I nuked my account over a year ago. Do not regret it despite losing my following. I do use mine for announcements, for sure, because, yeah, not everyone uses Blue Sky. Twitter falsely inflates engagement, doesn't it? It does a whole lot of things that I do not agree with, like just in general. But it is also one of the reasons that I don't delete my Twitter is so that no one can grab my username and pretend to be me. That is a big one. That is a important thing to make sure that it doesn't happen. True, we hate impersonation. We do not like it. Just gotta do the hair clip right now. Now, unfortunately, today's stream will probably be a little shorter than usual because I started late. That is on me. I do apologize. I got a lot of work done, took a nap, and it started way too late. That happens. To be fair, we're almost at the usual already. Yep. Played any D&D lately? Yeah, I actually played D&D yesterday. I played it 2 days in a row. I played Saturday and Sunday. And I love my silly little tiefling guy. He is woefully underprepared for the world. And that is intentional. I intentionally made him so that he is not ready to adventure. And you may go, honey, why would you do that? That doesn't really make sense. And it's because I started him out as a quaint little farm boy. One that was like, oh, I need to go help my village. I'm gonna join these adventurers. And he was not prepared for the amount of violence that comes with the life of an adventurer. And so here he is, doing his best and figuring things out. Shoot. It's very fun. We got arrested last session. It was great. Got arrested and having a good time in a jail. We put this in front of the body. There we are. I'm deeming a one shot tomorrow, and I have not prepared as much as I should. I'm gonna be scrambling tomorrow. Getting arrested is a canon. Getting arrested is a canon event. Yeah. Is Callum illiterate? So no, Callum is not illiterate. He is a farm boy, and farm boy is not illiterate. He needs to know how to read and talk because he also is dealing with deliveries and doing math and calculations of how much everyone's asking for. What's your funniest story with him so far? The funniest thing about him so far is not necessarily a story, but the fact that we're playing 4th Ed and he dies nearly every combat. He falls unconscious nearly every combat. I don't think there is one encounter that he has not fallen unconscious in. There's one he got up after being unconscious, but no. I'm so excited my Spelljammer game is finally coming back on Thursday. Can't wait to run a game again. Missed my silly little space pirate guys. Good. We love blissfully unaware innocence that is yet to be destroyed. We're putting the boy in the torment nexus. Yes. Yes. Buddy Vamp. The AI bros remind me of an episode of Stargate 1, SG-1, where a high-tech civilization became technologically regressed. No one knew how to fix or run anything. When bad people came and broke their defense, they couldn't comprehend that it wasn't working and couldn't function or think for themselves. I'm sure things will be fine. Part of the reason I want to learn how to make things is because I don't want to get caught with my pants around my ankles. If I need to know something, I would rather know at least the basics of it so I can troubleshoot. I don't have to be amazing at it. I would just like to understand some of it. And most of it, you know? Have enough to not hurt myself in the process of trying to fix it. Yeah, here. This question can go out to everyone. How did you guys get into D&D? I got into D&D back in high school when one of my friends was starting a campaign with the homies. And he was like, yeah, I'll DM and I'll teach you how to make character sheets. And I was like, okay, you're my friend, I trust you. And we had fun with it. I played a halfling bard who was extremely grumpy. She became the mom of the group, and everyone else was a teenager who was like chaotic. Meanwhile, my character was like, I think we played this when we were 16, and my character was like 20 or something, and she was like, oh god, I'm hanging out with a bunch of teenagers. They're crazy. They keep killing things. It was very fun. Been DMing Honey Heist with the small nieces and nephews. The best. Oh, lovely. I hope they've been having fun, Jamo. I hope they're having fun being creative and enjoying the imagination realm. Alrighty, let's get the grayscale and the flats gone. There we are. Alright, almost there. So I'm going to start it up with a halfling. Mine was a ranger who ended up playing more like a rogue due to low wisdom. 3.5. Ah, I think I also started with 3.5. Grey Wolf, I cast confusion. Thank you for the 200 Chinese. I'm already confused. We're putting the boy in the torment nexus. Yeah. Yeah, we are. So your D&D character was basically personification of scars. I'm surrounded by idiots. Kind of, yeah. It was fun because like everyone was enjoying it. Like no one was actually being disturbing the flow of the gameplay. My character is very intentionally a tired bard who was like, "Yes, I can help you guys. Please stop dying so often. Please, 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 pretty please, stop, please. I can only revive you so many times. We only have so many of these." I think it was scrolls. So it was more of a helpful healing bard, along with the cleric. I would basically support the cleric. And it was funny because it was just like constant violence. But a lot of good stories. The sketch has such smug child vibes. Thank you. And thank you very much. I, like quite a few first people, became DM out of reluctance at first, but later on found I liked telling stories and leaned into the role. Nice. Little kids have so much fun with mini RPGs. It's the best. Also did Dead Serious, which was fun, but Honey Heist is better. Sometimes it's fun to be a little goofy with them. Being totally serious all the time can be fine, but especially when a kid is first learning to get into the genre, it's not really necessary to be all serious doom and gloom, you know? There we go. This color for the features here. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm probably going to go with a rendering style kind of like this. That's probably going to be what I go for. For now, I think this is pretty good. Let's remove the white layer so y'all can see a bit better. Make this a little less dark gray. There we go. That looks pretty good. Honestly, for low poly, that looks pretty good. The eyes I look a little too high rendered, but that's something that I'll have to just figure out later. It's gonna be a learning experience. Black hair on Honey looks really good. Thank you. AD&D, baby, I'm old as hell. Dang, you played AD&D, Anya? I played AD&D a couple years ago, and it is tricky. The hardest part is probably, like, resource management. But it's still fun. Come, my 10-year-old nephew. Come, child, we will now play Morkborg. These are cool stories. I appreciate the people who took the time to answer my question. I've seen and heard people play it. It looks interesting. It is very fun. I do recommend playing it if you haven't played. Granted, it will come down to how well you interact with your group, you know? Everyone will have a different experience, and it really depends on your DM and the other players with your group, and you as well. Yeah, a little bit darker like that. And then for the top part, a little bit lighter. Is that too light? Maybe just like this. And then the back part of the dress and the boots will be a little darker. Maybe not that dark. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, that could be good. Okay, okay. Oh, this is cute. I like how this looks. I like this kind of low poly-esque style. I'll be honest, my DM is spreadsheets, so nobody ever has to calculate THAC0, so I legitimately never learned. Huh. I don't even know what THAC0 is. I've never DM'd before. Come, child. Morkborg calls. We're throwing you in the goblin grind. And Grey will thank you for the 200 shinies. We had a spell by the Lord Xerox scroll coping, -1 rank. I once made a tiefling wild magic sorcerer whose backstory was they were kidnapped, had their tongue cut off, and the tongue of the dead dragon's god tongue grafted in his place by a cult. Jeez. Despite the serious character, what made it funny was it was a meme campaign with meme PCs. Like a dwarf with an head so big you could fly by clapping it, and this Saitama level strength barbarian, and a guy cursed to do taxes on a magic desk that rebuilt itself on destroy. Dang. Okay, that's a pretty funny one. It stands for to hit AC 0. Oh, to hit armor class 0. Gotcha. Okay. Lower number was better. Oh. Okay. Maybe I didn't play AD&D. Maybe it was just one of the first D&D editions. It was basically the DM versus the characters, and so we kind of got killed a bunch. I forget the older editions of D&D wanted lower armor class. Having a -6 armor class was godly. Once the model is finished, we should get a goblin rotation. Rotate in the microwave. I want to learn how to make this model and then learn how to animate it, because I feel like that would be extremely fun. Learning how to animate a 3D model could really open a lot of possibilities, just generally for making art, and I think that'll be really fun. I believe THAC0 was in AD&D and AD&D 2e? Maybe. I'm not too knowledgeable about the editions. Not as much as I'd like to be. I played Pathfinder, D&D 5e 2014. I have DM'd and been a player for both. I've played 3.5, 4th Ed, 5th Ed, Monster of the Week, Savage Worlds, I think it's called. And then there's, I think I've done one more, but I cannot recall what it is called. It's been a bit. Now remembering the idea that someone posted some time ago of making a fight against a lich so old they run on rules from old editions. That's interesting. What an interesting idea. Savage Worlds, I will guess. Yeah, Savage Worlds. I think I said that, but like I think I played one more. But I can't remember what it is, so that's fine. Oh. Would recommend trying DMing with just words and thoughts on car trips and stuff. You can do that on anything. You can do that. If you can do that, you can do anything. Sorry, my brain just had a hard time reading that sentence. Jeff, Powered by the Apocalypse? Yeah, I think Powered by the Apocalypse. I think that's... Monster of the Week, I think, is Powered by the Apocalypse. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Rarely play. Nowadays, I mostly just watch Legends of Evantris. 99% shitposting is my kind of D&D. Sometimes that is fun. It is hard to do. Johnny, thank you for the save. Let me save this lovely 3D model plan. I'm excited to do the rotation for it. I'm working on converting my Spartan to a low poly model for reasons, but can confirm having a 3D model is very nice for art purposes. You can either just make a render or use the model as direct reference. Yes, exactly. That's my thought. Zypho. Okay, that makes sense now. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, no worries. north. I want to learn more systems, but it's honestly intimidating to entirely relearn everything about the system and get in a whole new group to do the same. I would say just like try with one. And then once you get comfortable with that one, see if you want to branch out to another. You don't have to learn all the systems, but you can try learning another one if you like. So if I just paid rent, good for you. Good job. Webby, I'm going to move now, so I need to find another D&D group. Oh, that's rough, bud. Sorry that you're moving away from your usual group. I hope that you can find a group that is just as fun and chaotic, hopefully, and enjoy yourself. That's why I like Honey Heist and other one-page RPGs. Just enough structure to be interesting, but doesn't interfere. I think that's good. All right. Since I am getting a little bit hungry and I want to finish up some dinner, let's visit someone. Let me just make sure this person is not ending their streams. Your animation are so incredibly beautiful, detailed. It's so much fun to watch you make facial expressions and bouncing hair and ear wiggles. Thank you. Thank you very much. We cast low poly. Good night, Heidi. Night, Super Zimblue. Sorry, I'm just making sure the person I'm visiting is not ending stream. Let's see. Low poly goblin I think would be good. Let's do a little low poly goblin. Used to have a group in high school. The DM was great at storytelling. Too bad his stories were just openly racist and offensive in retrospective. That's rough. Hopefully they have grown as a person, because some people are like that. But it doesn't mean they can't change. That is important. Jasper, thank you for the 100 shinies. Thanks for stream, honey. It's always been an absolute delight. Everyone quick tell honey she's cute and loved and don't let her escape the love. Thank you, Jasper. I am very excited because I'm going to be streaming on Friday. We're going to be taking it easy and chilling. I might do a little bit of work on this behind the scenes, but we are most likely going to continue working on this on Friday at 6 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. EST, depending on your time zone. I'm very excited. I'm going to do a little more studying and how to rig facial animations, because once I do, we'll be in business, baby. We'll get there. So thank you. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of y'all to come and hang out while I work on this and learn. I really, really appreciate it. Bum, 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 bum. Let me just make sure this person is not ending stream. Oh, they have such a very, very cute style. I don't think I've ever seen this person before. Let me just check their pronouns, make sure. Bum 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 bum. Looks like they're wrapping up stream. Dang it. The avatars are very cute. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Thanks again, honey. Love y'all. No worries. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate y'all coming. Let's see. Ooh, let's see. Let's send y'all over. Oh my gosh, this person's still going. But I really love, ooh, I want to see their build. Okay, I want to see this person's build. Let's go visit Fleshy. Fleshy is currently playing Vintage Story. I actually really like playing Vintage Story. It is a very fun game. It's basically Minecraft, but way more difficult and survival based. I think it'll be fun to say hi. So let's go say hi to Fleshy. I also like Fleshy's model. It's pretty cute. I haven't seen too much of what Fleshy does, but I like Vintage Story. So let's go say hi. Let's go say hi to the Time Demons. Let's go say hi to the Abyss Demons. What a lovely, lovely time it will be. Good night, honey. Have a second dinner and good rest. I will. I'm gonna have a good time eating second dinner. It's gonna be delightful. Oh, I'm so excited to work on this model more. It looks so good. I was not expecting to like how low poly honey might look. And I might edit it a little bit, but like, ooh, it looks cute. It looks cute. Pumpkin, thank you for the posture check. And Catherby, thank you for the ear wiggles. Oh. Hi, Polly Goblin. For now. For now. I could make her low poly and tired. Blood thanks for the hydrate. Alright, y'all be good. Take it easy. Have fun, and I'll see you on Friday or Saturday morning. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Thank you for coming.